According to Variety, Jim Carrey is in talks to star in the Jetsons live-action movie. So, that's a live-action movie I haven't thought of, quite frankly, but who knows? Goes on to say, Jim Carrey's in talks to lead a Jetsons movie at Warner Bros. Pictures. Warner Bros. Pictures with Colin Trevorrow in talks to direct, Variety has confirmed. Trevorrow, who last helmed Jurassic World Dominion, and Joe Epstein are in talks to write the screenplay. No information on the storyline was immediately available. The last Jetsons feature film was in 1990, Animated Jetsons the Movie, a live-action version of the familiar family animated property, which first aired in 1962, has been attempted numerous times over the years. The series was revived several times in the 1970s and 80s, making the typical nuclear family that happens to live in outer space familiar to several generations of viewers. The story revolves around George and Jane Jetson, their children Judy and Elroy, and dog Astro. I remember watching Astro going, I loved Astro. He was the best. The family lives in the space-age style Orbit City and enjoys innovations that were considered wildly futuristic at the time, such as video chat, FaceTime, we got that now, domestic robots, basically have that, and even flying cars that are part of our about to be daily life 60 years later. Among the unfulfilled attempts to bring the Jetsons to screen were a 2003 version directed by Adam Shankman, a 2007 CGI version directed by Robert Rodriguez. Oh, that's interesting. Love Robert Rodriguez. And a 2017 animated version. Carrey most recently has appeared in Sonic the Hedgehog, blah, 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 blah. And that's kind of the main parts there. So my thoughts on this are, number one, I love Jim Carrey. Anything that he's going to want to do, I will watch. I think he's a great comedic actor. I think he's actually a great dramatic actor that people don't give him enough credit for. So, I'm down for that. Colin Trevorrow, big director, did, I think, all the Jurassic World movies. And then he was going to do that Star Wars Episode 9 that was, I think, titled Duel of the Fates before it went to J.J. Abrams again in Rise of Skywalker. Again, he was another one that left due to, what do they call it? The creative differences, I think is what they called it. So, it sounds interesting. I think I'm curious on what the tone would be, though, because the comic booky or the cartoon was very lighthearted and fun, and Trevorrow does more like big blockbusters and dramatic things. So the tone of it, I'm wondering, would it be a comedy? Would it be a PG movie? I don't know. I'm having a hard time wrapping around my mind around what the tone would be of it. So another question I have with it is, how is it possible to make something like this? Because, this is IP. Most people my age probably haven't even heard of the Jetsons. Obviously adults do. But the intellectual property for this and just the brand itself isn't huge. And if you're making something that is, in a futuristic 60s, that just seems like it's going to cost a lot of money. So how would they possibly make this on a modest budget? And I don't know. I don't know if they could, to be honest. So this does seem like something that, could be a pretty big flop. Not that it would be. I mean, there's been surprises all the time. But it's hard for me to wrap my head around this being, a low to mid-budget movie. It seems like, just by the nature of what it is, it would be large budget. And I'm just not sure that the brand is big enough. So that's kind of my main concerns. Again, this is another one of those projects that seems like if they did a good reboot in an animated version, I think that could be really cool. Like, I think an animated version would actually do really good, like a low to mid-budget animated movie. I think that would actually make more sense than this. Again, I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around the tone. But then again, I love Jim Carrey, and most people do, and I do think that if a name brings people out to the theaters, I do think Jim Carrey's name does that. So, anyway, that's my thoughts on it. What are your guys' thoughts? Are you excited for this? Are you excited that we're getting Jim Carrey back in something that isn't the Sonic movies? let me know your thoughts below, and we are going to move on to our final topic.
Hey, thank you so much for watching my video. If you like that and you want to stay up to date with more movie news, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, as we'll be keeping you up to date. And if you want to watch the long form podcast version of this, go into my channel, go to the videos, and then look for a video that is 45 minutes to an hour and a half long, and that'll be the full podcast. Thank you so much, and God bless.